where my mind went initially when I read this was, yet another one of those tragedies because of lack of natural parents caring for their young.
Free Talk Live.
A 7-year-old boy was beaten, forced to carry around a 44-pound log, and was buried in the snow before he died last year.
Wow.
Right? Now, a 15-year-old boy and 2 adults have been charged with the murder of Ethan Hausholtz. Damian Hausholtz, 15, is charged with first-degree reckless homicide and 6 other charges. And although age 15 in Wisconsin, juveniles charged with certain homicide counts are handled in adult court. Damian's father, Timothy Hausholtz, 48, is charged with felony murder and 5 other charges. And Tina McKeever Hausholtz, 35, is charged with failing to prevent bodily harm and intentionally contributing to the delinquency of a child. All 3 are expected to make initial court appearances Monday in Manitowoc County Court. Here we go.
Failing to prevent bodily harm. So the inaction, she was charged with not doing enough, basically.
Apparently.
Huh.
I guess witnessing it and not stopping, the husband and teenage boy was enough. We'll see. According to the criminal complaint, Timothy Hausholtz and Tina Hausholtz were the court-appointed guardians for Ethan Hausholtz and 2 of his siblings. The complaint does not indicate if or how they are related. Timothy Hausholtz ordered Ethan Hausholtz to be punished by carrying a heavy wooden log weighing 44 pounds, about 2/3 of the boy's body weight, for 2 hours around a predetermined path in a snowy area outside their home. Damian was instructed to supervise.
So Damian's the teenager.
Right.
Okay.
As Ethan struggled to carry the log, Damian allegedly hit, kicked, struck, and poked Ethan about 100 times.
Wow.
Sometimes using a belt or a stick. Damian rolled the heavy log across Ethan's chest, stood on him while Ethan was face down in a puddle, and then burying him in a snowbank for more than 20 minutes without coats or boots on. Damian also...
brutal.
Yes.
This is hard to listen to.
I told you it was going to be a terrible segue. Of sport ball and then this.
Yeah.
Damian also repeatedly struck Ethan's twin, who was also ordered to undergo the punishment according to the complaint. Ethan died of hypothermia, but also had extensive other injuries, including blunt force object to the head, chest and abdomen, and a rib fracture, the medical examiner determined, the complaint states. In an interview with police, Damian stated he didn't do anything that would have hurt Ethan. He estimated he hit Ethan 100 times. He also admitted to covering Ethan in snow, but knew Ethan had to breathe. He described Ethan as being covered in his own little coffin of snow, according to the complaint. The punishment was also directed to be carried out by his father, Timothy, Damian said.
Now, do we know what this punishment was regarding?
Yes.
Okay.
Next paragraph.
Okay.
This is one of the reasons why I brought it up, because this paragraph right here. Damian said he had to carry the wood for not knowing 13 Bible verses to Timothy's satisfaction.
And that's the dad. Timothy's the dad.
The punishment was 1 week of carrying wood for 2 hours per day. Timothy picked out the logs, but Damian had to supervise the punishment for the younger children. Timothy policed the log, was a form of discipline, but he was not home when the incident happened with Ethan. Damian had called him twice because Ethan wasn't moving. Tina was not quoted in the complaint. One of Ethan's siblings said she was aware that Timothy uses this form of discipline. So for not knowing a Bible verse is what he underwent.
And I'm going to guess that guy has a really strong objection to like killing your kids before birth, but it's okay to kill them afterwards.
Beat him to death.
Wow, your memory just wasn't good enough, so now you get to carry a log 2/3 of your own weight around. I mean, can you imagine how difficult that must be?
Yeah, I mean, that would be a 120-pound log for me now, but it would have been a 180-pound log for me a few months ago. So that's
heavy.
A lot to carry.
Yeah, no matter how big you are, carrying 2/3 of your own weight is not going to be an
unless
easy
you're
task.
an ant.
Sure,
they can carry massive fractions.
50 pounds?
They can carry
50
more
times?
than their own weight, right? Like multiple times.
Yeah.
their own weight.
If I remember my 8th grade science class, I think it was like 50 times was basically what ants do.
Wow.
All right, so Bible verses. I mean, obviously
Bible
you feel
verses.
strongly about this.
Well,
do you have a religious upbringing?
Imagine trying to carry 50 human bodies. I mean, even That's a lot of weight.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yes. So, well, the biggest objections that I found, related to this was, number one, the Bible verses, right? Because, that it implies, at least, that they're a religious family, number one. And for whatever reason, religious families seem to be more obstinate, for lack of a better term.
Obstinate. I'm actually not familiar with what.
Obstinate?
Yes.
Obstinate. Okay.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
familiar with that.
So they're more stubborn.
Yeah.
When it comes to that sort of thing.
Okay.
Right? Like, an atheist family or an atheist family wouldn't force the memorization of Bible verses necessarily.
Yeah. Well,
right.
I mean, if you're going to believe a bunch of nonsense written by goat herders like 2,000 years ago, didn't know where the sun went at night, you got to be a stubborn bastard because you've got to resist logic and reason and all those things.
No, wait, is that to say that there aren't atheists who would beat their kids?
No, so that's the second objection.
Okay.
Right? For me, it's the corporal punishment activities. Mm-hmm. So it was, number one, over religion, which, again, I think is foolishness. Number two, corporal punishment, again, nonsense. And then third, that he was a guardian, he had guardians over him.
Right.
Which means it wasn't his natural born parents; it was appointees of the state, who were charged with caring.
No, we don't know what the circumstances, and the article didn't say what the circumstances were that led to their guardianship. In some cases, a guardian can be somebody who already had a connection to the young person, and they were the person who kind of stepped up as I'll take this responsibility. Let's say the parents died in a car wreck or something like that, and he was a best friend or whatever. So we don't know exactly what the circumstances were that led to him. And I guess it could be just random, kind of like a foster parent,
could be
as well. So who knows? And we've certainly seen plenty of sicko foster parent stories with everything from them locking their kids in cages, feeding them, the barest of bare minimums just to kind of keep them alive, but then taking all the extra money that they get to buy the kids food and, spending it on crack cocaine or whatever it is. There's just all kinds of just absolutely horrifying stories out there of the government foster care system.
Right. And again, that's pretty much where my mind went initially when I read this was, yet another one of those tragedies, because of lack of natural parents caring for their young.
Now, of course, many religious people would also be aghast at hearing this particular story. I mean, that very few of them would say they support that level of corporal punishment for not being able to successfully memorize some Bible verses. I mean, assuredly, these people are unusual when it comes to.
Well, I mean, if properly memorizing Bible verses is how you show. What is it? Respect for your parents? Then they're supposed to kill kids who don't respect their parents. So maybe this parent interpreted, what is it? Honor thy father and thy mother. And if you look back at the Old Testament, it says to kill kids who don't. So,
did it really?
So if they believe in the Old Testament, I think they do.
Just following God's word.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.